Okay, so this is the problem. We're trying to debate between people. Someone says something's the right way, and someone says something's the right way the other way. Well, today it's all about painting, and I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've been told a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things, and now I know the right way about a lot of things. And what's been going on is we're coming in on these big jobs, and I'm coming to the second coat phase of my project. I'm the foreman, and I tell the guys to come in and just spray it. That's all it needs. That's all it needs is just to be sprayed, and everything will be okay. So they go in and spray it. Well, I'm forgetting to tell them that this is just a second coat, and the first coat cannot be sprayed that way. The first coat has to be adhered properly. It has to be bonded. It has to be brushed and rolled. And when they go on to the next job, they did this huge giant project, and they've done so much practice, they know everything about painting now. So when they come in on the next job, they're automatically professional painters because they became professional spending months on a project. And someone says, well, what needs to be done? And they say, just spray it. That's what needs to be done. Just spray it. And so they are now convincing the customer, and they say, are you sure this is a good idea? Oh, I've been doing this years. Yes, I know what I'm doing. They got their couple years on the big project. This is how it's done. And the customer is saying, okay, I believe you, unless you're running into a paint manufacturer or a paint expert like me, and I would tell you otherwise. So what's going on is we're coming in, we're doing all this first coat work as a second coat, and it's really messing things up because nothing's bonded. So after you do your first coat the second coat way, and then you come in, yeah, you can brush and roll the second coat, but it defeats the purpose because that first coat that needed to be applied properly. And when it wasn't applied properly, you get these kind of effects. Now, when you experience damages from these kind of effects, and it goes back to the beginning where there is no first coat, and when we go back to the beginning and there is no first coat, yeah, you can brush those patch areas. What's up? Yeah, you can if you want. Do you want help loading it? Do you want help loading it? Or we could just drag it back there. Enrique? Okay. So we get these kind of damages, we can go back with a first coat procedure, properly adhere the product to the damaged areas, and then go back with a second coat with a brush and roller, or you can just spray it. Remember, you can just spray it. That's the second coat procedure after everything's bonded to the new surface. So what's going to go on is there's probably 50% painters that are professionals learning by my directions to perform a second coat procedure, and they do not know how to brush and roll at all. And it's going to cause a lot of these things where it's going to avoid all these warranties. And all these warranties are avoided because the professional wasn't certified professional with a master's degree and a master's certification. So, yes, we're professional. Yes, we've been getting paid $30 an hour for 5 years. but there's no certification. Now, if you wanted to go prove a certification, you bring the painter to the board meeting and do some question and answers, and then when they fail their answers, you teach them the proper techniques, and then send them out there saying that these procedures need to be performed the correct way after the board meeting has taken place, after they've already been getting paid $30 an hour for 5 years. You can continue paying them $30 an hour while they perform correct procedures. And I just want you to know this, because it's costing us $4,000 a day to paint the apartment complex, and it's been about 10 months now. So, and that's just for labor, and that's not including materials on the paint. And we just want to get this stuff done the correct way when you're paying $1 million for painting the outside of a building, and when you're paying $10 million for painting the inside. And then this is another thing. Oh, it doesn't have the look. It doesn't have the spray finish. It's not supposed to. That is the second coat procedure that you're applying first coat, and it's giving it a different look. It's giving you that spray finish, and that's the finish because you did the procedure backwards. And it does have a good look. Yes, it does. But it doesn't have the application, the bonding procedure done the right way. And that's when you're going to lose in warranties, that this stuff isn't going to last how it's supposed to last. If you go with the look where you put a first coat procedure on correctly, yes, it's going to look different, and yes, it's not going to have a spray finish, but you're going to get 20, 30, 40, 50 years out of it. And if it gets real dirty, you can clean it for 10 years and you're still going to not have any damage. It's going to be a perfect applied product. Procedure was done the right way. It is cleanable, and it can take on weather, and it can do all these things, and nothing's going to happen, but it's not going to have a spray finish. It's not going to have that spray look. Now, I'm just letting you know that the guys that are giving that spray finish look, the guys that are doing that, were taking my directions when I brought them in on my second coat, and I said, just spray it. Just spray it. That's all it needs. There's no questions. You don't need to ask me any more questions than that. Go do your job, because it's going to take 2 months to do that second coat. And I don't need to tell you anything else so you get confused. I don't want anyone to be confused when they're doing this work. Okay, so that's the problem and solutions of the millennia, and I hope y'all figure it out, because it is not a bad thing to brush and roll things. My name's Jonathan Paul Roy. Well, my email, I'm the Painter Boy, and what is it? My business is Raincoat Painting. You'll be all right. And you got to teach them too. There can't be any roller lines, and there can't be any heavy brush lines when they're applying this stuff. And then outside, when it's hot, it dries in 60 seconds, 5 minutes. You have to put additives. You have to have techniques in play to do brush and roll. So I guess if it's, get by 5 years until the next guys can come in, let them spray it. Then they're not going to mess it up as bad as brush and rolling it. But if they brush and roll it, they got to brush and roll it right too. They can't be roller lines and all this other stuff that's in the show. It's going to look terrible if you just let them slop it on there. So they got to have some real training, some real practice. It's not something just as your everyday homeowner just put it on there kind of thing. And we don't pay $30 an hour for nothing, for no reason. There's reason behind it. So you're going to have to work on that. There's a lot of teaching. If they don't know at that board meeting, you're going to have to put them through a training camp or something. Go send them to Sherwin-Williams School for a little while.